now the latest from the wide world of tropics. Tropical Weather Bulletin for May 15th. So we're back at last on May 15th, 2021, and the only system active right now that's at nameable status right now is Tropical Storm Taute, currently off the western coast of India and intensifying substantially right now, and will probably become a hurricane equivalent storm fairly soon. Code yellow in effect on a Ticos scale. 17 days until hurricane season in the Atlantic. No tropical cyclones are active just yet, so that's a relief to see, because usually the Atlantic goes nuts around this time of year, as has been proven in the last few years. Day one of hurricane season in the Eastern Pacific, so welcome it along. It started early with Andres, which formed a couple of weeks ago. That's the only storm to have formed so far, and no other systems on the cards. No chances for development. Moving on straight over to the Indian Ocean, there's Taute right now off the western coast of India, as mentioned earlier. That is heading towards the north slowly at the moment. We missed out the Western Pacific because there's nothing going on there, because we also want to show you the southwest Indian Ocean, where we have a 40% chance for an area of interest that's currently at a very low latitude, 2 degrees south, and will be moving towards the south-southwest over the next few days and could become a tropical cyclone very soon, actually, as it rounds past Diego Garcia. So let's take a look around the world right now then. This is what the Atlantic looks like. You can see that massive dry air mass there that's choking off anything that would form in the Atlantic. Of course, it's very early in the season, so we're not seeing anything anyway. You can see some very low latitude systems down there, maybe just the one actually, but nothing really going on. The Eastern Pacific, a little bit more lively. You can see a few systems moving through there, the intertropical convergence zone. We have been having eyes on that one on the left-hand side there in the center of the image. There's some slight signs of rotation, but it turns out that nothing's going to come of that. We were thinking about a 10%. The Western Pacific, you can see what's left of 3W still producing some convection over Palawan right now in the Philippines, so that is probably delivering some locally heavy rainfall. And in the South Pacific slash Australia there, you can see one or two that frontal system moving through there, but also off the eastern side some tropical disturbances near the equator. This is the Indian Ocean. You can see the South Indian Ocean very quiet apart from the monsoonal that could become that next system, and then of course Cyclone Taute on the northern side of the equator, which is, here it is, the floater imagery, a close-up now showing you the storm in the last few hours. We are running this on the automated streaming service on the Force 13 channel right now, so you can check out the latest imagery on there at any time. youtube.com/force13/live. 65 miles an hour and intensifying. Sea surface temperatures then for the Eastern Pacific there, that's 30 degrees and warming up substantially there, as you would expect, but here it is once again. We're coming up to the early part of the season. You can see the Atlantic warming up, quite warm there in the Gulf of Mexico already, the Gulf Stream, the Caribbean Sea, getting up towards 28 to 30 degrees Celsius, widespread, so something to watch out for early season and onwards, because it's going to be another warm one by the looks of things. A lot of energy there. Indian Ocean is boiling, 30 degrees plus there quite easily, where the cyclone is right now, maybe even pushing 32 where it is off the western coast of India. Looking into the South China Sea, around 30 degrees Celsius, the Philippine Sea around 28, 29, and the southwest Indian Ocean still got a little bit of power left there for that upcoming invest. So a lot to look out there on that imagery, showing just how warm the Indian Ocean is in particular. Bay of Bengal, can't rule that out later in the month, or indeed next month. So here is the anomalies right now, the oranges and the reds, that's above average, the blues below average. Eastern Pacific, not up to standard there on the sea surface temperature anomalies. Atlantic above there, especially in the Gulf, but out over the North Atlantic too in the subtropics, and the Western Pacific rather above average too in general. On this day then, last year, on May 15th, 2020, I thought we'd begin this tropical weather bulletin with what happened last time. we had an area of interest that was developing off the southern tip of Florida. It would eventually go on to become Tropical Storm Arthur. And then we of course had Vong Fong, which had just made landfall in the Philippines less than 24 hours ago, had weakened to a category 1 by that point. Of course, Force 13 covered it quite a lot if I recall correctly. Indeed, I did half the coverage, and then it was weakening as it moved on towards the north. So here we are then with the names for this year. The Atlantic, our first and next name on the list is Anna, followed by Bill. In the Eastern Pacific, we're looking out for Blanca, followed by Carlos. And in the Central Pacific, guess what? We're still waiting for Hone. In the Western Pacific, the next name on list 4 is Choi Wan. In the North Indian Ocean, once we get this one over with, which will take a while, the next name will be Yas. Looking at the Southern Hemisphere, of course, those names don't expire until July 1st in the Southwest Indian Ocean. The next name there is Kanga. In the Australian region, it's Paddy. In the South Pacific, it's going to be Cody. That's all for now. We'll have another tropical weather bulletin tomorrow night.